Yeah, you're going to want to buckle up for today's program. Welcome in January 21st, 2024. 2025, excuse me. I took us back in time. That's how the Suns have me all messed up today. Welcome in to today's edition of The Lunch Break. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. KDUS AM 1060, always on the KDUS AM 1060 app. You can also catch the show live video form on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel. We are in the year 2025, and it feels very similarly to 2024 when it comes to one specific basketball team. And in front of me is the show rundown. And I'm just going to count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 8 segments in the show. 5 of them associated with one specific team here in town. And if you could just take a small guess where you think we're starting today's show.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
118 to 92. That was the score yesterday for the Suns in their no-show against the best team in the Eastern Conference. A no-show. That's what the Phoenix Suns were yesterday against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell leads the way with 33 for the Cavs, and this was a non-competitive contest. Not even remotely close. And I think this is the first time in the history of the show that we are doing this. The first time in the history of the lunch break. Now, it's a short history. We've only been at this a couple of months, but when you do something historic, we have to make note of it. The first time in the show history that we are doing this. But I am going to play something for you that I said on yesterday's program. This is what I said to all of you yesterday. Now, I got a lot of cuts to get through here today on the show, so let's hope I hit the right button here. But this is how we ended our Suns conversation yesterday looking at this specific basketball game. What did we want to see? What did we want to learn yesterday from the Phoenix Suns? So, with all 3 members of the Big Three, with Nick Richards in the fold, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, team's healthy. Tyus Jones, Ryan Dunn, healthy. Everybody that you would count on in a playoff series is available. So what do I want to see today? I want to see a team that for 4 quarters can go blow for blow, can match the intensity, can match the energy, can match the physicality, the athleticism, whatever the Cavs are going to bring to the table today. I want the Phoenix Suns to match them blow for 4 quarters. It doesn't have to end in a win. But I don't want to come in here tomorrow and talk about a team that was a no-show against the Cavs. I don't want to talk about a team that was non-competitive against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't want to have that conversation tomorrow. There's a reason why you need to watch the video version of the show, is because when that part of the clip played, where I said I don't want to come in here today, tomorrow, to talk about a no-show, producer Dylan and I looked at each other and we shared a laugh. We forecasted this yesterday. The one thing you couldn't do was what you did yesterday. No-show, non-competitive. I'll give you the numbers, although you don't need them. Just find the nearest trash can, throw them in there. But you get outscored 32 to 19 in the second quarter. You get outscored 34 to 24 in the third quarter. It's over. The game is over. The middle quarters, you were non-competitive. How about this for the second quarter where the game completely went off the rails? Grayson Allen a -12, Bradley Beal a -15, Royce O'Neal a -10. That's your bench. That's supposed to be the group that comes in and helps kind of just level, set, and keep everything where it's supposed to be. Bradley Beal coming off the bench is supposed to provide you that scoring, supposed to keep you in it. A -12, a -15, and a -10 is what you got off the bench in just the second quarter from Grayson Allen, Bradley Beal, and Royce O'Neal. And a team yesterday that had Kevin Durant, that had Devin Booker, and had Bradley Beal, they didn't belong on the same floor with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that Cavs team had injuries all over the place. And the Suns didn't belong on the floor with them. Yesterday, you saw what championship level looks like in the NBA. I don't know if the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to win the Eastern Conference. I don't know if they're going to dethrone the Boston Celtics. They're certainly playing the better basketball right now. They're certainly going all out to be the number 1 seed, but we know it's the NBA. You get to the playoffs, and those teams that kind of coast because they know they can coast, like Boston, turns it on in the playoffs. So I don't know if Cleveland is for real, but I'll tell you what, they're a good basketball team. You wouldn't be shocked if they made it to the NBA Finals. You wouldn't be shocked if they won the Eastern Conference with the way that they've played, with the talent that they have, and you didn't belong on the floor with them. You played yesterday the top team in the East. You played a championship contender. It would be like the Cardinals playing the Chiefs or the Bills or the Commanders or the Eagles. It would be like the Diamondbacks playing the Dodgers or the Yankees. It would be like that. So ask yourself this question, because this is going to set the table for everything that we discuss here today. I saw the story in The Athletic early this morning. Don't worry, we'll get to that. Bradley Beal, his shoelaces, his trade interests. I've got the cut about Jimmy Butler only wanting to go to Phoenix. Trust me, we've got 2 hours. Get comfortable, everybody. We're going to talk about this team a lot today. So I've got you ready. But to set the table, to give you the menu for the entire show, ask yourself this question today and look at every other conversation that we're going to have about Bradley Beal, about Jimmy Butler, about the second half of the season, everything that we discussed today about the Phoenix Suns. I want you to look at it through this lens. The Suns played yesterday a championship caliber, championship contender team. That was championship level from the Cavs. Ask yourself this question. Are the Cardinals closer to the Kansas City Chiefs than the Suns were yesterday to the Cavaliers? Are the Diamondbacks closer to the Dodgers than the Suns were yesterday to the Cleveland Cavaliers? The point I'm making here is they're not even close to championship level. They're not even in the same zip code of championship level. The Diamondbacks, they were in the same zip code. World Series 2 years ago. Almost a 90-win team, spending big money in free agency. They're in the same zip code. Now, they don't have as big of a house as the Dodgers, but they're in the same zip code. They're around the block. The Suns aren't even in the same zip code. And so if we are going to spend the day talking about Jimmy Butler again, and we will, if we're going to spend the day talking about Bradley Beal's no-trade clause, and we will, ask yourself this. What's it going to take for this team to get to championship level? And is it something that they can do in the next couple of weeks? You and I both know the answer to that question. You and I both know if you look at every other team here in town and you compare them to the championship class, and you look at where the Suns are in respect to the championship class in the NBA, they're not even close. You can't even begin to have a conversation about championship level for the Phoenix Suns. And so making the playoffs is going to be like a participation trophy. It's going to be a consolation prize. Who cares? Who cares if the Phoenix Suns, with the highest payroll in the sport, who cares if the Phoenix Suns not controlling a single asset of their own until 2031? Who cares if they make the playoffs? Who cares if they play in a first-round matchup? Who cares? This team is supposed to be able to play with the Cavs, who, by the way, had injuries yesterday, weren't playing their full complement of players. They still beat you by 20. 26. You're 42 games into the season. You're 21-21. And over and over and over again, you give us performances like that. I'd argue this is worse than the Memphis loss. The Memphis loss is the one that I just circle. And I've got the calendar in my office of all the Suns game, and I circle the ones that I want to make sure we never forget. This one's getting circled. Because what did I say yesterday? And I'm not some oracle. I just said, can you do me one thing? Could you not do this? Could you not let us have the show be this today? Just be competitive. You had everybody. You look up and down the roster for the Phoenix Suns. I have the box score in front of me. Devin Booker played. Kevin Durant played. Tyus Jones, Nick Richards, Ryan Dunn. That would be your starting five in a playoff series. Your bench, your rotation. What would it be? It would be Grayson Allen. It would be Bradley Beal. It would be Royce O'Neal. Everybody that would be in a playoff rotation. When you play Memphis and Houston and Dallas and the Clippers and Oklahoma City, name anybody in the Western Conference, that would be your group. And that group couldn't beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, who I'm not sure people are all the way bought in on yet, but clearly the class of the East right now. You couldn't be competitive with that team. Couldn't do it. You know championship level when you see it. You saw it yesterday from the Cleveland Cavaliers. You see it when you watch the Kansas City Chiefs or the Los Angeles Dodgers. You know championship level when you see it. You don't need statistics to back it up. You look at a team's record, you see the way that they play, you see the way that they handle games like yesterday, and you know top-tier elite teams when you lay eyes on them. Yesterday, you saw that from the Cleveland Cavaliers because they just took full advantage of who the Phoenix Suns are. And you know what the Phoenix Suns are? A broken mess. A broken mess. This is what they are. 42 games into the season, this is what has been presented to you. And I'll tell you in hour number 2 of the program, it's not getting any easier, folks. If you thought there's still time, I might convince you there's not time. I might convince you that the hourglass is running out of beads of sand. Just an absolute disgrace yesterday from this basketball team. I didn't need a win. I played the clip for a reason because I wanted everybody to know who maybe missed the show yesterday to know we were on record. You didn't need to win the basketball game yesterday. But the thing you couldn't do was that. Was that trash outing that immediately ruins everything that you've done. You're 6-3 since you've moved Bradley Beal to the bench. And what did we say the whole time? Well, look at the opponents. Hasn't really been against high-quality opposition. Let's see what happens when they... Okay, we saw what happened yesterday. You don't belong. You don't belong on the same floor as the Cleveland Cavaliers. You aren't championship level. So now, let's unpack that. Let's double-click into that statement. Let's try to figure out where we go from here. And, well, it's a day that ends in Y, so let's do this conversation again.